breakfast now. Now, Kim. Sit down.
What's going on?
Come on, you know what this is about.
I'm afraid I don't, actually.
Been late 3 times this past month. How am I supposed to make money if my employees are turning up late?
I'm sorry. My car hasn't been running, so I've been taking the bus every single day.
Well, I guess you need to leave earlier. You're gonna be on time tomorrow, or you're gonna be late to social services appointments looking for a new job. You got it?
Yep.
Good. Get back to work.
Pretty fancy, right?
Oh, yeah. Donnie's Roadside, the peak of class and sophistication.
Gave you another lecture?
No, I tried to tell him. And that man is a piece of work.
Okay.
Could you not do that in here?
Get off my back.
Could you at least do it outside if you have to?
Well, look, last time I checked, my dad is your boss.
Can't you walk straight? I hope you know you're paying for those. And look, you made my son clean it up.
Hey, take a minute.
I can't do it anymore. I fell, I've been late, and he says the most terrible things. I mean, I went to a culinary institute. I shouldn't be working in this disgusting kitchen for this disgusting man. I wish I was working in a real kitchen for a real chef. Okay. Thanks, Mom.
Good morning, chef.
Chef?
Come on. Don't tell me that after all that, this is my kitchen and you will call me chef posturing that you don't want me to call you chef.
My kitchen?
You're so funny, but really, we have a rush coming on, so feel free to help out whenever you like.
Right? Sure. Hello?
Hey Kim, Mom says you're looking for work. I have a friend who's looking for some help in a new restaurant.
Really?
Yeah, you want me to put in a good word for you?
Yeah, that would be great.
Consider it done. See you later.
Thank you.
Thought for sure you'd given up.
Not giving up. I quit. Send my check in the mail.
Wow. Not even a 2-week notice, huh? Should have seen that coming. You know I was doing you a favor by taking you, and you know your dad called to get you this, right? You should have realized he was just dumping his dead weight here.
Do not say a word about my father, and I know enough about your little operation here to send you right to health and safety.
Wait, Kim, let's talk about this.
There's nothing to talk about. Goodbye.
I'm your ride home, idiot. Go flip the open sign.
My name is Gabriel and I'm going to be a freshman.
Hi, I'm Adam Scalacci. I'm 16 and I'll be going into my junior year of high school.
My name is James. I'm going into 12th grade.
I grew up with my grandpa and he was like super, like he's a huge Jesus follower and that rubbed off on me a lot. So I went to church like since I was like born, I guess, to now.
Second semester, 8th grade, first semester, 9th grade, I was going through a lot of problems myself. I had really no relationship with my parents, had no relationship with my siblings. I was secluding myself from people. I was staying inside. I was hurting inside, and it was really, really terrible. And it got to the point where even I wanted to end my life. I didn't want to do it anymore.
There have been a couple of camps that were like, pray this prayer and you'll have a true relationship, but never really seemed to stick. And then something about this camp changed. I definitely feel different.
I'm Brindell and I'm going to be a junior.
I'm Peyton, I'm going into 11th grade.
I'm Gracie Green and I'm going into 11th grade. My mom passed when I was 3 and then my dad passed this past October. So I was really not, I followed Christ, but I wasn't a big follower.
I grew up in a Christian household. And my parents were like pretty adamant about me getting rebaptized because they baptized me when I was a baby. But they were pretty forceful in the fact that I needed to get rebaptized when I felt ready. And so my first year ever going to a Christian camp, I was 8, and I decided that I was going to get rebaptized then. But I didn't really know what it meant. I just knew that once I felt on fire for the Lord, it was my time to get baptized again. But I didn't really know what it meant.
I'm not entirely sure if it's a rededication, since I'm not even entirely sure if I was truly dedicated in the first place.
I went to the mental hospital my freshman year of October 2019 because I tried to OD. And it was like weird because the place that's supposed to help you showed me how lonely I was. And you know, being lonely isn't a fun feeling because all you have is your thoughts in there. And like the hospital has scheduled times to, you know, where and what you could do. And I went outside and it was like a little playground and it was fenced up, and seeing that felt really depressing because it like felt like jail in a way. And I remember being in the corner by myself, looking up to the sky, asking like what I could have done to be successful in my attempt.
At around 13 or 14, I got into a pretty dark place and I felt very trapped, and I hadn't had a very good relationship with God at that point. Sure, I believed in Him and went to church and knew about Him, but it wasn't like a super close relationship. But
around second semester, 9th grade, close to when I was turning 15, it all started getting better. I always had a lot of friends, but I didn't have a friend group. It was all single friends, but I had this one friend group that got started up and I got invited to it. And these people lifted me up and helped me and cared for me. And I can now say I'm in probably the best place that I've ever been.
First day I was super like angry and like not as into it, and the more that I went to worship and just been there, it kind of just all came out of me. And this girl named Hazina came up to me and we just got into a convo about God, and seeing how strong her faith was, like still even within the struggles and everything that she's gone through, because this was like her 3rd time getting admitted into the mental hospital. And she was like 12, 13 at the time. And she was just saying like all the corny stuff, you know, you could imagine. But the one thing that she said that stuck out to me was God has a purpose for your pain, a reason for your struggle, and a reward for your faithfulness. So trust Him and don't give up. And she assured me that I'm never alone and I'll always have someone to talk to and give my problems to.
So like committing my life to the Lord when I was 8 looked a lot different than it looks now, which is why I recommitted, because I thought that it would be more appropriate now that I know more about Jesus and know more about like committing yourself to the Lord completely.
I got in a really dark place and I felt trapped, and last resort for me was just praying, hands and knees, praying, and going to God with what was bothering me and just really begging Him to get me out of the situation I was in, and He did.
I'm not as angry anymore as I was with God taking my parents from me.
Last night, the girl next to me accepted Jesus into her heart for the first time. And along with the worship song that says, "Lead me in your love to those around me," it really highlighted that I can make an impact to people close to me who maybe aren't followers of God, and I can lead them to the path of light and steer them away from the path of darkness.
There are some things that I'm definitely not proud of in my life. I need to fix those, and I can't do it alone. I've tried it myself, and it hasn't worked out.
Last night during worship, I could feel my parents there with me, and I just got the chills all over my body, and it was just the best thing ever.
One thing that God has taught me, really pointed out to me, was that He's gonna use your pain and He's gonna use your hurt for the better. Although it's gonna hurt now, in the future, He's got such a great plan for you. And it can be used to impact so many lives.
I would say during worship every single day, whenever we get to run up to the stage and do all the singing and just praising God, it's amazing.
He just showed me that He's always gonna be there for me, that there's people out there who are gonna be there for me, and that really just a beautiful beach He created, you know. The little things, the grass, the ocean, the sea, the sand, it's just been great to see all that and just be more appreciative of being out here and having a relationship with Him.
I was super angry with life with my dad passing, and Pastor Ed showed me that God's always gonna be there even when things are hard.
My relationship with God became closer because I guess I was kind of starting to fall off from Him, but this definitely helped a lot, being able to be around so much of that.
Last night was incredible. Last night was awesome. The 83 people that got saved was crazy. I thought that was so surreal. You could really feel God. We were just singing, and I was just asking God to I was asking to feel God. I was asking God to come in my heart, and I just got chills. And I started tearing up because I was it was just so surreal. I actually felt God for the first time in a really long time.
I think it was last night we sang God of Revival. And I've sang that song at church because I'm in the worship band at West Park. And that was one of the first ever songs that I got to co-lead. I did harmony on it, and I really, really, really like that song. And so when I sing it, I kind of feel like a leader in my own faith in a way, and it really just impacted me in feeling like He is the God of revival, and He is just gonna pour out His love to everyone. And one of the lines is, "Come awaken your people, come awaken this city." And it really spoke to me because everybody had their hands up and everybody was awake in the name of Jesus, and I really felt that.
And when Ed mentioned broken puzzle pieces, it hit home because we're not all perfect, but we pretend to be perfect, which is okay not to be perfect because nobody's perfect. If we were perfect, we'd be God, and that's, not the situation. That's not the case. And I've never really opened up about this really to anyone. I could count on one hand who knows. But the message on Tuesday night really spoke to me, and it just opened my eyes and allowed me to be more comfortable within my small group to talk to them about it, because I thought if I were to go to people about stuff like that, they would judge me. And they've actually been really supportive and open and talking to me about it and stuff like that.
Probably the first night at worship, or maybe the afternoon one, because before I used to just sit in the back and not sing and just look at all the words happening, but my friend invited me to go up and actually do it, and it was great. So I was actually worshiping Him instead of just standing in the back.
I know this may seem insignificant, but while we were playing football, we were down by a couple scores, and I guess we just kind of The message today that we heard in the auditorium, it was about not giving up and just being close to the Lord. And we just didn't give up and we ended up winning. I mean, it may seem insignificant, but that was just a great memory because it was with my friends and all.
Before I came, I kind of prayed for the girls that I was going to be staying with, and I said, like, God, I just hope that you move them the way that you have moved me the last couple of years being a part of Parkway, because I think that it's really important that they feel kind of the same things that I feel so we can talk about it, and that I can try to help them as much as I possibly can connect with God. But this week especially, he's put on my heart that like following what other people are doing is not really what being a Christ follower is. Like, it's more about being a rebel and not being afraid of your faith. So I really thought that that was kind of heavy on my heart this week, and that's why I recommitted.
There was a large group confession in our cabin. We talked about some things that we really hadn't talked about with anyone else, and just getting rid of that burden, surrounded by people going through similar stuff as me, going through this in the same faith as me. It definitely felt good.
Definitely in the worship, it really brought me like closer to the Lord, and I could just feel him there. And then also yesterday morning when Pastor Ed was talking and he was listing off points about like don't let the crowds decide for you, or don't let criticism like discourage you. And then he kind of like was like talking about forgiveness. And then last night when he asked people like it just showed me like that like I should ask for forgiveness and like clear everything with him.
I've had an awesome time in the condos with all my friends in there. That's been great. But really, when Pastor Ed said that, use the analogy with the apron and the bib, where it's like they both serve the same purpose. They both keep food off your body. But if you're wearing an apron, you're gonna serve 4 people and you're gonna help others out, as if you're wearing a bib, you're wanting to be served. So I want to like try to become more of an apron mentality and lead people to Jesus, help it make easier for people to come to Jesus.
So I prayed the prayer last night at the sermon.
I rededicated my life because I finally got some weight lifted off my shoulder and realized that Jesus died on the cross for my sins, whether that's the past, present, or future ones, and that my sins from the past do not define who I am today.
Last night I really put myself out there, and I am super dedicated now.
I prayed that prayer and I rededicated my life.
I dedicated my life to Jesus Christ by praying the prayer at Generate Beach Camp 2021.
It was so awesome being here at camp because you're just surrounded by Christians and surrounded by people that are on fire for God. So it's such like a comfortable and safe place to like grow like as a person, grow as a believer. And yeah, it's just awesome.
I think that there's a whole new understanding of what being a Christ follower is and fully surrendering and committing to God after spending this week at camp and seeing all of these amazing people share their stories and listening to Pastor Ed talk. And I really just think that I'm going to be more committed to not reading my Bible and doing the things that I'm supposed to do as a Christian because I want a better relationship with God and Jesus. I'm going to do it because I have a better relationship with Him, to grow that relationship further. And not because I feel like I have to be a good Christian, but because I want to know more about Him.
My life has changed in a way that I feel more carefree. I've always been very anxious about everything, nervous, caring too much, overthinking, and this week I've really kind of let go of all that, and I think from now on I'll try really hard not to overthink and worry about everything and just let go. Let go and let God.
When I go home, I want to be more outspoken about my faith and try and be proud of my faith. and try to work it into conversations at my school or with friends, and do what I can to lead them to the light.
I'm leaving with a better bond with the Lord than I came in here with.
You know, also not to be embarrassed about Jesus, you know, because if we're embarrassed here, then we're going to be embarrassed back home. So I've just been working on being able to talk to different people about God and different people about Jesus. So spread the gospel. Yeah.
Fuller. I'll live my life more fully than I have been.
That God definitely has saved me, because I've been a good person, but like, you know, I obviously make mistakes, everyone does, and those mistakes can be bad, and I think that now I'm not going to be having as much of those mistakes. So
I feel going home, I can use the testimony that I shared to y'all to help people out there hurting, whether they be at the church, whether they be at school, whether they be just anywhere. I'll be able to use my story to help those who are hurting.
I do think that my time at camp was like a life-altering thing, and I'm so excited to come next year. But I think that coming to camp was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made, because of the way that it changed me and the way that it changed my perspective on Christ followers as a whole and the entire Christian community, because we're more of the same, but like there are so many individual impacts that we can make in the world because there's so many of us, and if we band together, especially the newer generation, we can make a dramatic difference in the world, and I really think that that's important to take into life after this.